The plates of life are a reflection of your plate that you carry in your life. The plates can look like a mess. There's practically food that's coming off the edge of this big or little dish, and I can't even tell since it all looks like shit. And I even tried to get a plate, the one that separates the food from touching, but that still merged everything, and I'm looking down at this mess, wondering who in the world would want this plate next. In my life, I'm trying to clean up the rice that's spilling off the side, but my plate seems piled up and there's not much room. Did you want more to eat? I have plenty of food. It's left on the stove that you will see. I can even put some in a bowl or on a salad plate if you prefer, but now I have 3 plates, maybe more, in front of me. If you include the cup and the saucer too, oh my gosh, that's 4 plates in front of you with 2 cups, one for your hot coffee and one for your cold brew. Did you want dessert? Because I have ice cream dishes and cookie plates that are a smaller size than the dinner plates in front of you. Now we are at 6. 6 plates filled with shit in life, and I do say shit lightly. It's just the reality to look down at your plate, come to terms with what it is that you have to eat. Your plate of truth. Sometimes you can't handle the big plates for you, and that's temporary. Small plates are needed in between meals. Those large plates can look overwhelming and give more space for more food. Sure, to eat, but adding to the pile doesn't fix it. Grabbing the bigger plate, has it made you feel better yet to come to terms with what you have to eat and what you have to do? I can't look at all of life as a plate. I have to eat small portions of what I made or what was made for me. Tackle the food on my plate with dignity. I won't be like Pumbaa when I eat, just eating to fulfill a need. Close my eyes and say, slimy and satisfying, like Simba in The Lion King. Slimy doesn't feel good on my plate, even if it's separated for me from the other foods. I would rather eat seaweed. At least it tastes much more like salad. So what do I do with this dish between choosing my next meal and meat and poultry or fish? The fish can't even stay on the plate too long for you. After a while, it smells up the room when it's not eaten. The meat and the poultry, you have to eat those up in 3 days from what I read. Or else that also goes bad in the fridge. You can't just put saran wrap around it, think it'll keep it fresh because it's homemade. Doesn't matter if it's homemade, it still goes bad in a few days, so don't eat it. Just because you have a china set in your home while I use vintage plates where I come from, you still have to take accountability for your plate and your plate that you will make to eat. Your Corelle plates, they might not break the first time they fall on the floor because that's how they are made, sturdy. And sometimes I even use the paper plate. I have to be honest with myself on the quality. Paper plates can break easily, or you can get the strong kind. They usually come in a pack of 30. Smaller and sturdier, supposedly, to help you eat. Pile more food onto your plate. Help yourself, please. Good for you. But I'm not fooled by your pile of food that you still have on your plate because you don't want to eat your own food that you made, but you want to clean that plate off when you are through. Don't be fooled by the compost and the garbage disposal that you have too. That's like disposing your own life's truths. You had so much more food left to eat. You can't just dump it out and wait for the next meal to come through. Doesn't matter what time of day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, some buffet, it all speaks truth to me. So don't think you can't take that dish, spit it in a napkin instead. Oh, was that meat too tough for you? Yes, sorry about that. It does help to acknowledge your truth. And that's the truth of your plate from your life choices and the choices that you made. Whether they were healing or not for you, that's your plate that you'll be carrying to your own buffet, like the old country buffet. Did you want to go up and grab a second plate of food? Help yourself, please. Balance them both on one hand while you walk back to your table again to eat it. They have an ice cream buffet section too, so you can really drown out your sorrows in your plate's truth. Go ahead, just choose dessert instead. See if that helps you make any amends. For you on the inside, don't forget the rainbow sprinkles too, with your whipped cream and cherry on top to hide. Oh, what a beautiful spread you made. Did you add M&Ms to the bottom of your ice cream plate? I do remember those days for me too. When I was a kid, ordering the Friendly's ice cream, the clown one where on the bottom of the dish was the best part to eat. You can't just eat the best parts of your life and your life's truths. You have to chew through the tough meat or the runny egg or whatever it may be that you choose. Veal Parmesan, your food and your plate will never be me. Respectfully, we are just two separate people trying to make it through life with dignity. This is your plate and life, so keep it neat for you. And things might feel right, or at least better than the mess on your plate since you hadn't fixed it yet with your messy plate of food. You could speak up instead, say, tonight I can only take a little food from you, or maybe just a little from your life instead. Doesn't matter what utensils you use, the china or the plastic forks, just eat your words and your truth. Sometimes you have to close your eyes while you stab that plate and swallow down what you made for your life. Probably tastes like shoe leather, some tough meat. Depends on how long you waited to start speaking your truth. And it does feel rough, but please swallow. Don't throw up. Just eat it. Once you swallow those first few words, the rest feels a little easier to digest in you. Even though it makes you shake your head and you can think, I know how this ends, with swallowing your words and your plate's food. The plate of life and how that plate carries your truth, it really does relate to you. So please stop looking at my dish. Look at yours instead. We can order the same food anytime, but that's not the same truth in the end. Don't you see, when you do finally acknowledge that plate, you can put it in the dishwasher since you made amends with some truth. Keep an eye out on the plate you're still holding on to. Don't drop it. Hold tight. With two hands. You don't need to add a second plate yet in your life. If you do, next thing you know, you'll be balancing on your head these plates of life like a server balancing 3 or 4 plates. You can also carry 3 cups at a time, but those cups are filled to the brim and they aren't empty, so they just spill all over the place. Nothing worse than putting those cups down and watching the first one spill all over the place in slow motion too. Oh, quick, grab a towel or a drop cloth. None of this is large enough for this mess that you made in front of you. Sir, did you not eat any of your food or take a sip of your drink yet? Yeah, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Let me get you another seconds, basically, of your lifetime. This mess wasn't all right. You should cry over your spilt milk too. Because you hadn't even drank it yet. You need to sip and see. Warm it up. I don't care how you drink it up for you, as long as you eat it. Or drink and acknowledge your plate of truth. So good luck finding your plate. There's many choices to make. I'm done with my dish. Bring on the plates to come next for my plate of life and my truth.